2 on how to distress with chronically ill bodies. Hi, my name is Diani and I'm healing from chronic illness. And in my last video, I mentioned 3 ways on how to de-stress. And one of those was alone time, and I want to go into more detail with that. It's super important to get your stress under control if you're chronically ill so you can keep your chronic illness managed and not in a flare-up. But also, if you're not chronically ill, it's super important to keep your stress under control so you don't get chronically ill. So everybody's welcomed here. Okay, let's get into it. According to researchers, being alone lowers the cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Social interactions, even positive ones, it's constant micro decision making. Like, you always have to read the tone, you have to think of what to respond with, and all that can be very stressful to be constantly doing that. Chronic cortisol is linked to anxiety, inflammation, gut issues, fatigue. So alone time really helps interrupt that cycle. Researchers have also come out and said that being alone activates the reset and digest nervous system. Being alone allows your nervous system reset from survival mode, from flight or fight mode, to the rest and digest mode. This slows heart rate, deepens breathing, improves digestion, reduces muscle tension. This is especially important for people with chronic illness to avoid burnout. And it's also coming out in studies that being alone reduces sensory overload, noises, conversations, screen time. All of it taxes the brain. Alone time decreases sensory input, allowing the brain to re-collaborate. Less sensory load, fewer stress signals sent. Most of you know I am 29 years old with Crohn's disease, and that disease has created other diseases because we know autoimmunes love to stick together. It got so bad to a point that I couldn't walk in a period time of my life. My skin was literally eating itself. And I am very for real on that. TikTok will not let me show you guys the images. And it was very painful. And over the years, learning on how to manage my disease, I've also had to learn how to not only just manage the disease, but also balance out being a mother, a wife of 2 children, ages 10 and 2 that I homeschool, working from home full time, and of course, the house chores still need to get done. Not to mention my whole family runs on ADHD. So certain systems, like alone time, is our best friend. So trust me when I say that this is not my first rodeo. I know what I am talking about. I've had this disease for almost 15 years. I can help. So this brings me to my first advice when it comes to having alone time. As I mentioned, the word systems, our 2 main keywords are going to be systems and consistencies. This brings me to schedules. Schedules are super important, and I'll go over organization in another video. I have an organization bundle in my bio, but I haven't gone over them yet. They're very basic, but that basicness literally keeps us, those little steps keep us intact, because organization is a form of de-stress and also spiritual practice. So it's very important that I get that video out and show you guys, and you guys understanding. And part of organization is scheduling. So again, I am going to go over my organization video. Don't forget to follow so you don't miss that. But for now, I'm just going to keep it on the alone time and talking about scheduling. So one thing that you can do to get alone time is schedule a time frame for you and your whole entire family to everybody go do something alone. By themselves, go do something, get away from me. And some people might be like, what, that's crazy, or I have littles. I have advice, calm down, let me get there. But that is the best tactic that my family and I have used. Normally on the weekends, I do homeschool, so I use this with me and my children on the weekdays. But on the weekends, I'm talking more when you guys are all together. So how it looks for my family and I, during the week, my husband and I are working and I'm homeschooling, and things are a little bit more scheduled out. That's a completely different schedule than what I'm talking about. I will go into that in my organization videos. But during the week, we have a certain schedule that we stick to, like most do. You go to your 9 to 5s, your kids go to school, or you're doing a homeschooling schedule. So I can put in that alone time during my lunch. My oldest can go off and do something, like for instance, play outside, go play her guitar, read a book, go do something alone. My son is napping, okay? So and my husband's at work. So he gets his alone time at lunch. So that's Monday through Friday for us. But on the weekend, we schedule a time frame, which would most likely be when my 2-year-old goes down for a nap around 1 o'clock. As of right now, my daughter is watching TV and I'm recording these videos. The important part is focusing on yourself and getting people away from you for you to be alone. So I also make it a habit to go to bed at the same time every single night and wake up in the morning at the same time. And the reason why I mention this is because if I go to bed at the same time every night, I know I'm going to get a good night's sleep, which is really important with chronic illness. But also I know I'm going to wake up early, because when I wake up early on the weekdays, when both mine and my husband work, my husband gets up, he goes to work, my kids are asleep, so I have time to be alone and do my meditation and spiritual practice. So that's how I intertwine my alone time as well. That is something you're going to have to commit to and be consistent with in order for your body to regulate to that type of schedule. Now, if your life is a mess like mine was and still kinda is, and you don't have a schedule, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. The whole point is to start practicing and being consistent so we can get that schedule flowing for you. Any advice that I give you is not going to happen overnight. This has taken me almost 15 years to fully comprehend that consistency is key. Not every day is going to be the best day of your life. And what I mean by this is I have been on a medical leave due to my Crohn's disease, so my kids, again, are homeschooled. My son has gotten out of the habit of taking a nap. I have started putting him back down at 1 p.m. for nap times because I am going back to work Monday. Thank the universe. He doesn't like to go down for nap times because he's so used to not going down for naps. He has been trying to go to sleep lately at 4 p.m., which obviously I cannot allow to happen because he will not go to sleep at night. So I've been starting to do the 1 p.m. thing again. Do you think the first day was the smooth ride? Absolutely not. And I also recognized he needed to get more energy out before going down for a nap. So now I'm on a schedule of 12 o'clock is lunch, 12:30 they go run the energy off outside, 1 o'clock he's down for a nap. And I had to sit there for a minute and fight with my son in order for this schedule to smoothly flow. But his body is now used to it for me being consistent. And now I have that little gap. He goes down with no problem that I can be alone or do what I need to do with your kid being down for a nap. But that's an example of, that's the same example of you going to sleep at the same time. Commit to a time. I commit to 9:30. I take medication at 9:30, my Rinvoq for my Crohn's disease. My phone's on the charger on Do Not Disturb, and I'm in bed. No TV, nothing. I'm in bed. I'm going to sleep. Close my eyes, even if I'm not tired. Commit to it for at least a week, even the weekends, because the weekends will mess you up quick. And I think scheduling a time for everybody to do alone time is depending on what your life looks like. So my biggest advice, if you do have littles and if you are a stay-at-home parent, is to, one, either wake up early if they're not early risers and get your alone time in. If your child is an early riser, then you're gonna have to fit that, either wake up earlier before them or fit it in during their nap time. If your kid is not on a nap schedule, then get them on one, like the example I just gave you. I put a timer on my phone, 1 o'clock, 12:55 goes off. Wesley, I know it's time for his nap. I think it's very important to note also during your alone time, stay off electronics. You're not watching TV, you're not scrolling, or this method is not going to work. It's actually pointless. Being on electronics is actually overstimulating for the brain. It's very overstimulating for the brain. I think majority of us can actually agree on that, and I will be going over that in my next video. Like, our brains are not meant to go through all these emotions and thoughts in like 30 seconds, but again, I will go over that in a whole nother video. Put the phone down. Put it on the charger and walk away. The whole point of being alone is filling yourself back up. Do something spiritually. Do self-care. Do your makeup and do affirmations. The whole point is to fill yourself back up, to get your mind to not be in such a stress level mode that puts your body in inflammation. When you're stressed, your body is stressed. So the whole point of being alone is being just that, alone. When you're on your phone, you're technically not really alone. You're vibing with whoever you're watching, which is a million people when you're just scrolling, which puts so much stress on the body. Again, my name's Diani, and I'm not a doctor. I'm just a sick bitch healing from chronic illnesses, physically and spiritually. If that's something you're interested in, like this video, give me a follow. I will be posting helpful videos Monday through Friday. I go live every single day, twice a day, one in the morning at 8 and one at night at 8. The morning time is just get ready with me, chit chats, motivational, giving you positive vibes for healing and to tackle your day. And then 8 p.m. is meditation before nighttime to regulate your nervous system. And as always, happy healing.